Shut up and sit down.
Welcome once again to the Shite Talks podcast show. Mark Kearns and Ken with you.
What's the crack?
As always. Ken, how are things?
Same shit, different day.
Yeah. Ready to talk some shite?
Ready to talk some shite.
Yeah, well, we have asked in the last few weeks people to send in suggestions for us, things to talk about, because like makes our job a little bit easier when we don't have to like do a lot of research.
We don't have to do the 10 minutes research before we come on.
Yeah, exactly. Ken arrived over the house and I was actually late recording. I do my research for the show, so didn't have things set up. But lucky enough, I just got it in time. So this was our story that we got was actually from. It's an old enough story. It's about jeans.
Yeah.
And it's I should actually give props to the guy who sent in, Richard Page. Thanks for sending in the research about this. He sent in an article that was done by, I think, the Independent.
I think it was the Independent.
Yeah, I think the Independent covered this story, and CEO and President Chip Bree, who was previously worked on, I think, a few different kind of clothing kind of companies and moved over to Levi, and he was saying that you should not wash your jeans, or at least unless it's very, very necessary, like you've spilled something over them.
You've gone on the piss for 10 days and you shit yourself.
Yeah, exactly. But like, he's not the only other expert on denim. Like, what a lovely thing to be an expert in. Like, people are there trying to find a cure cancer, and
you're studying denim.
You've devoted your life to.
We should point out that Mark is wearing a Levi's top right now.
that was complete accident. But yeah. I discovered this new brand. They're so fashionable. Yeah.
Shout out to Levi's.
Yeah, big shout out to Levi and Chip Bree for his fashionable clothing. And so, like, he's not the only one. There's other experts that came out and said he should leave up to at least 6 months, but if possible, leave it even longer than that.
Yeah, but they're even saying, like, your man, the Levi's guy, said you should freeze them. Freeze them? Yeah. That's what he said. You should freeze them or just air them in the sun to kill bacteria.
Yeah, that's like, but like, if you froze jeans, right?
Yeah.
First of all, they're in with your food, so like, I know, like,
maybe buy a special freezer for them.
I maybe put them in a freeze bag, but like, even still, you take them out of the freezer, and they're gonna come damp. So then you have to let them dry out.
Yeah, so you air them out. And
then damp clothes smell. Like, you definitely have to wash them if they're.
I don't think denim really smells, though, does it?
No, it doesn't really smell. But like, I'm pretty sure if something's just damp,
you get that kind of musty.
Yeah, it does create a smell off it. So especially if the things weren't washed prior.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going with freeze them. Like,
I know he said, like, if you spill on them, you just should. He suggested toothpaste as well.
Yeah, you use a toothbrush to clean them, or
yeah, toothbrush, not toothpaste.
Toothpaste, so it might make it a bit worse.
Yeah, you just got toothpaste as well as your coffee stain on your pants. But
damn.
Yeah, I guess you can probably take out stains. Like, there are chemicals that you can use to take stains off them.
Stain devil yolks.
Yeah,
them.
Yeah, exactly, and stuff like that would remove certain stains. But like, when I'm not in work, I pretty much live in jeans. I don't have.
Yeah, me too. I wash my jeans maybe like once a month.
Yeah, I don't have an exact time on how long I leave before I wash it.
I don't either. It's really kind of just when you're getting given out to over wearing the same jeans the whole time.
Yeah, it's me as well. Like, if I put them on and they just feel dirty.
Yeah, or if you've spilled something on them, like sometimes, you know, when you go to the cinema or whatever and you get like chocolate on them, or
yeah, exactly. Or if you're out drinking and you spill something.
Yeah.
Or like, you come back from a kebab shop and you
come back from a kebab shop with a kebab down your leg.
Yeah, you're just wearing your kebab at home, and then you probably need to
think about washing your jeans with a toothbrush.
But yeah, a lot of times I do is usually I spill alcohol on my pants and I smell like a pub the next day. And I have to, so like, I think most people do, and the reason I do it is because I've seen these extras and go, oh, actually, experts say that
don't wash your jeans.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just following sound advice.
Expert advice, yeah. Where's the toothbrush?
Yeah, but like there's even some rare like I was saying this story last week about I bought a pair of jeans and they fit me the best I've ever found jeans, but I didn't try them on, and then I bought a shirt and I tried it on because I wasn't too sure and it didn't fit me. Those jeans, like I only really wear if I'm going out somewhere nice because they're nicer pair of jeans. I wouldn't wear them around the house, and so they mightn't actually get washed like for months because they only might wear them.
Probably only wearing them like 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, every 2 or 3 months. Like I wouldn't be going out a whole lot in them. So like they might have got the 6 month treatment, but I think I've washed them like previous. I think I definitely was on a night out and I spilled stuff on them.
It's annoying when you wash them as well, because they start to fade and shit.
Oh yeah, that's the bit.
Like sometimes it looks cool. Depends on the type of jeans. Like sometimes faded jeans look cool, and other times you're like, nah.
Yeah, if
you got black jeans that are faded, you look like a gimp.
No, I think black jeans kind of like there's some jeans, black jeans come kind of faded like.
Yeah, that's if you're a hipster with the ripped out knees and.
Yeah, like you can get ones that kind of work. There's things that like when you wear it for a while, it wears in. Like there's some kind of hoodies even that like once they're worn in, they kind of. Yeah, they look good.
Washing in general fucks your clothes though.
Yeah, that we were saying that there's things that you need to, like your underwear you need to wash, and like training gear you need to wash.
Yeah,
but like
even it does get fucked.
Yeah, it does wear on the material, and I have an awful time with people putting like training gear in the dryer.
Yeah,
even though it doesn't need to go because like the material doesn't crease, and that's and it doesn't like
crease, except for your like gi, it takes fuck all time to dry like.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like a rash guard and spats will dry fairly quick.
Yeah, I try not to put the geese in the dryer, because I don't want
the collar to go all fucked.
Yeah, they shrink real quickly, but it does come out like cardboard out once it dries if you don't put it in the dryer.
Yeah,
so you're kind of, I don't know, devil advocate here or like stuff like that.
Yeah, washing's bad.
You washing them it's necessary, but I think we're on the side of Chip Bree, and maybe you disagree with us, and you can send in your
your disagreement.
Do you think we're disgusting for that?
We'll explain why you're wrong.
Yeah, well, I think we've covered quite well. I believe the 90s has come back apparently.
Early 90s.
90s. Well, Friends started in the 90s, and
Friends,
Simpsons started in the late 80s.
Yeah,
so
our childhood
come back to us. So Osbournes, they're the godfathers of reality TV.
Yeah,
and apparently, is it MTV that are going to be bringing back the?
They didn't disclose that bit. Kelly Osbourne just said recently that they get offered every year. They get offered a sum of money to come back, and every year the money's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this year is the first year that they've actually gone. Maybe we'll do another season. But the thing that's holding the whole thing up is that Jack has 3 kids that are fairly small, and he has to decide whether or not he wants that life for his kids, because they're not old enough to decide for themselves like him and Kelly and Amy were when the Osbournes started originally.
Yeah, well, he was a real nerd, and then Osbournes came along, and he's the coolest person in the world.
He became Mr. Cool, like getting into nightclubs when he's like 14 years old.
Exactly. So like. It worked out for him, and like, plus they're all pretty well off.
They're all pretty well off, but I suppose I think he lives like a relatively normal life now.
Yeah,
like I know he does TV shows and stuff, but like his kids don't know any of that. Like he kind of keeps them out of the spotlight.
Well, he probably could keep his kids out of the TV show altogether. Like,
yeah, that's what they're trying to like figure out a way to maybe do that.
Yeah, like in terms of like there used to be the reality TV curse, whereas any family or couple that went on a reality show, it destroyed their family. But the Osbournes seem to actually wear through. They're the only ones that like didn't destroy their marriage.
Kind of made them a bit closer.
Yeah, well, I know Ozzy and Sharon definitely had the problems. Like I think.
Yeah, even recently, like
he attacked her. Yeah, and then his probably drink and drugs problems was always so severing there. But like Ozzy also had his like mad advice for his kids.
Did you watch it? Like,
of course.
Yeah, the Osbournes was class.
Yeah, like he used to have some insane advice.
Yeah, it was deadly. Or and he couldn't figure out how to use like the TV and stuff like.
Yeah, no, my favorite. I think I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned this on podcast, but it was, or I mentioned it in conversation to somebody. But there's a scene in it where he's doing a gig, and I don't know if Sharon pranked him or anything. But he's doing the pyrotechnics, and someone replaces fire with bubbles. And he's like, "Bubbles, fucking bubbles! I'm the prince of bloody fucking darkness."
Yeah, fucking bubbles. Yeah, I think Sharon. I don't think that was a prank though. I think she actually was just releasing bubbles.
Yeah.
Was he playing like the anniversary of Woodstock or something? Like she was like, "Let's just do bubbles instead of fireworks," and he's like, "Fuck off."
Yeah, but like he kind of went into the psychology of Ozzy, and after that, I think like in the 90s, like unless you're a hardcore metal fan, you didn't really know too much of Ozzy Osbourne. So like it really brought him into the spotlight for a whole new generation.
Even when you didn't know him, like you just kind of knew him as, he's Ozzy. He's this mental fucker that bit the head off a bat, and he's just mad. And then you see him, and it's like he's just like a normal dad.
Yeah, exactly. I think he made him very relatable to people. He kind of like, you kind of like seeing parts of your dad in him, like
you
that.
see him like going, "What the fuck is this thing?"
Except he lived like an insane lifestyle, so you can only see like his advice is from like a person who's spent the 60s and 80s doing drugs.
Yeah, like a normal dad.
So he had that. Like, so I don't know. Would you watch it if it came back?
Yeah. Definitely, I'd watch it.
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone, for nostalgic sake alone, I'd see how bad it was or how good it might be.
Yeah, like it could be a total flop. Like, do you remember they brought Beavis and Butthead back?
Yeah.
And that like totally flopped.
Well, I never seen it on TV. It must have been on MTV. I don't really go on to MTV.
Yeah, like it flopped. Like I think they only showed like 2 or 3 episodes over here. Like they showed the full season in the States, but like
it just wasn't.
They didn't renew it. Like they just dropped it.
They were thinking about bringing back Celebrity Deathmatch as well.
That could be interesting, but
a live action.
The world is a bit too PC now.
Yeah, well, that's very true.
Like even maybe for the Osbournes, like it's going to be heavily edited.
See, that's the problem with these shows. They're really fake, and even though, like all the shows that preceded them, even though they've been successful, they're being heavily like produced.
Yeah.
Like they're not really reality TV show. They're scripted reality.
Yeah, like it shows that that stupid disclaimer at the start saying the events in this following program are shown in a different order than they were recorded.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
then they didn't happen in the order that it's shown.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's just like it's not reality then.
Yeah.
You find a different word and use it with your mouth.
Yeah,
Also coming back is Friends.
Yeah, it could be a one-off special. I'm not sure.
Who played Chandler?
Matthew Perry.
I was watching an interview.
He's gotten really old.
Yeah, he apparently suffered a lot from alcohol and drug problems.
Yeah, he spent most of his money on cocaine, I think.
Yeah, and because he's involved in a debate with some English person over
some English person.
I don't know who he was. He was arguing for that there should be stricter penalties in terms of drug laws, and that people aren't. He doesn't believe that people are addicted. It's all about willpower. And if there are strong enough sentences there, that people's, and he was arguing, say, for like these people, it's an illness, and that's how it should be treated, as an illness. Yeah. So but he was talking about his own kind of battles with kind of alcoholism and drug addiction.
So that was pretty cool, though.
Yeah. So like, he probably needs the money.
He probably does need the money.
Well, because he hasn't
any of the rest. Well, maybe your one that played Phoebe.
Yeah, well, I think she stopped acting. I think she did a bit of theatre work.
It's like the rest of them have had pretty okay careers.
Yeah, they appeared in even
Courtney Cox did the Scream series.
Yeah, she did that while filming.
She married your man David Arquette.
Yeah,
I think they're divorced now.
But the thing is, like, that show's now on Netflix, and
that's probably what the whole revival is about. Like,
but the thing is, like, they're spending. They get royalties. Like, that being on Netflix, they would have got a cut out of that deal, as well as when it went on. I know over here it was on E4, then it went on to Comedy Central.
It's on Sky as well.
Yeah, so every time it's shown on TV, they're getting royalties, and every year and year that goes up and up and up. And I think once it gets to 10 years, which clearly is 10 years, it goes even further. It's actually coming up to probably near the 20th anniversary will be brought this year. Yeah, this year will be 20 years from when it was.
When did it start?
I think 1999, 98 would have been. It definitely was in the 90s. Yeah. So like, they're still like they could actually live off the royalties of Friends for some time. Like they're definitely like they don't need to come back for this show. Like I wouldn't say Chandler has to work ever again because he's cleared up his drug problem now. So like he's saving a good bit of money.
Yeah. Did you watch Friends? Was that another one that you watched?
Yeah, that's another one that like it's one of those shows that like your whole family watched. Yeah. And it was really at the time it was really, really funny. I remember near the last episode, Orty kept having problems and the screen would go blank and we were all screaming at the TV. But yeah, it was like it just had so many catchphrases in the show that like you know where Joey didn't know what those pointy fingers are when you're trying to be ironic.
Quotation mark.
Yeah, quotation marks. Whereas when you're being ironic, he goes, "I'm sorry," when he's genuinely trying to apologize to Ross, or like where Ross couldn't get his pants down.
Oh, the leather trousers.
Yeah,
and using the baby powder and stuff.
Or Joey wore all of Chandler's clothes. I was like, was it because Chandler wouldn't wear one of his things, so he wore all of
everything? Yeah.
He started doing lunges.
If you watch it now, though, it's a little bit kind of. It's something that you'd kind of just put on in the background now, like.
Exactly. Well, it's one of those shows that I can watch. Like I can watch Scrubs again, and I'll still laugh at certain parts. And Friends is the same thing.
Scrubs is really good.
Yeah, like Friends is one of those shows where you can watch 100,000 times, and you're not allowed to go, I've seen this. It's just like one of those shows that whatever about it's just made in such a way where it's just enjoyable to watch, especially if you're really hungover. It's one of those shows that you can put on a Friends marathon if you're hungover and you don't want to move because you don't have to think. You know what's happening. You know what's going. You know where the jokes are.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen.
You know the story. Like you know the deal. It's like a comfortable pair of pants to go back to.
Comfortable pair of non-washed Levi's jeans.
Yeah. But like millennials now, or whatever Generation Z, whatever the next generation, they're all against really.
Generation triggered.
Yeah, they're all against. They're all really against Friends. A lot of jokes that that's
what I mean.
Like and they even said the cast is all white cast. There wasn't too
off, like.
Well, see that's the thing. Like this was a show that was made in the 90s where not everyone was picking holes like that, so it wasn't overly produced. It was just 6 good actors.
That's what I mean. Like about is the world too PC now for a show like The Osbournes or Celebrity Deathmatch? Probably is.
I think there's a demand. I think there's a demand for that. There's a demand where because I think majority of people aren't overly PC. There's only a small minority that are very local, and because of like Twitter, which gives everyone a voice, and there's good things and bad things about that. And I think one of the bad things is you get the worst or the most over the top opinions are often the most amplified because people are covering it and then people writing articles on it in order to get people to click on articles, and then people are giving out about or making memes about people who are overly PC. So this goes on and on and it explodes in ideally it's probably a small section of the population who have this very tiny overly sense of opinion. Yeah,
just like the loudest voice.
Yeah, they have the loudest voice. No one's going to say like this show's perfectly acceptable. No one's going to tweet about that because no one cares, but people are often just tweet when they want to complain about something, and that's what you're kind of getting as well.
It's really irritating.
Yeah, well, actually, that kind of goes into our next topic quite well, which is like 1 in 4 kids are now suffering from anxiety.
Is it due to non-PC shows?
Well, see, I have a controversial opinion about this, and I think. And I often use Rush as an example, I don't usually use Russia as an example.
Here we go now.
Yeah,
I know that they're listening now, right?
Yeah. Everybody's just peaked up now. You're all right.
Yeah. Putin's listening to the podcast now.
Mark's now talking about Russia. So I think kids are too overly padded. I think especially teenagers, and then even now in colleges, is starting to have a knock-on effect. Like participation medals. I think if you don't learn from a young age to deal with loss like that, like losing a football match or losing whatever occasion, and then be able to come back from that, you're not teaching your kids to develop a kind of strength in order to get over uncomfortable situations. And as you go on and on, if you're not given these small little hurdles, get over it in order to deal with, in order to realize, oh, everything's okay after this, or I've got through this mess, I can get through another, kind of build inner strength. Yeah. Instead we're babying kids too much, and we're like have playgrounds padded, and you're not allowed to use you have to do finger claps because clapping's too aggressive for people, and you have all these softening of our environment, so people aren't given adversity at all, and we're kind of making a kind of a situation, a society where people don't run into adversity, so the first sign of adversity, it knocks them on their ass. And like if you take a country like Russia, which is like so such an opposite culture. Like I'm pretty sure, I'd love to know, because I wouldn't have the figures, but I suggest that there are fucking no kids suffering from anxiety in Russia. Because like
I'd say everybody in Russia is anxious about everything all the time.
No, I think they're so oppressed, and they're so used to like having a harsh environment to deal with, having a harsh punishment. So from a young age, they're dealt.
Mark wants an oppressed communist Ireland.
So like they're dealing with adversity from a very young age, and that's helping them. Like fucking Khabib wrestled with a bear when he's a kid.
Yeah,
and we have to have a padded playground. Like Khabib's a world champion who's never been beaten in his life.
Yeah, but that was back before health and safety.
Yeah, like we're not going to be ever allowed to let a kid wrestle with a bear in this country ever.
Like shit has gone too far.
So like I think if we took a leaf out of Russia, not too much leaves, just like a slight kind of thing where we teach our kids to be tough, bottle up feelings, but don't talk about the problems, keep that for yourself. And then overcome it.
Like you could just go back to like when we were kids.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that bad when we were kids. Like,
well,
I was fierce, anxious, and fucking, cautious about everything.
Well, did you have any kind of things that you were really anxious about?
Like germs.
Yeah.
Situations that I didn't know the outcome of. People I didn't know. Being sick was a big thing that always scared me.
Yeah. But like I think once you get sick and you realize, oh well, I overcame this, you get less afraid of, and like from being sick, you've kind of realized it's not.
Or even like death. Like death was one as well.
Yeah, I remember it was cancer, because cancer was this huge killer, and I was like terrified as a kid that I was going to get cancer because everyone was dying, and it was like this terrible disease that no one had found a cure for.
Like I used to ask my parents about 100 times if they were going to die, like every day.
Oh really? That's creepy as fuck.
I'd be like, you gonna die? Like
you
about 100 times.
Don't know. Promise me you'll never die.
They always just said no.
I'd be like, I can't answer that. Yeah. I don't know.
It's like, are you gonna die now?
One day.
Yeah, it was like, especially if I seen them do stuff like
climb a ladder.
No, like say like this is going back to like kind of being a little bit germaphobe. Like if food dropped on the floor, like, and say my dad picked up and he ate it, I would be like, my dad ate that. Is he gonna die now?
See, like I had a problem with germs when I was a kid as well. But like when I was younger, especially when I was in Tala, we used to, because our dad banned us from ever having chewing gum because he thought we were going to choke on it. So what we used to do is peel chewing gum up off the ground.
Oh, you absolute scumbag! Oh, you sick person. And now you're gonna have to tell the story that you told before, right? So you're eating chewing gum that somebody had chewed and spat on the floor, but you wouldn't touch food with your hands.
So when I was growing up in Tala, that was like that was no problem because we weren't like chewing gum, so we got round. We found rounds away, like
it's disgusting.
Getting our uncle to buy us chewing gum and stuff like this, and picking up off the ground. It did us no harm, right? It did us no harm. We were always healthy kids.
Oh, that's sick.
It's a little bit disgusting, but like when I kind of got older, especially when I think around, I was like,
you realised that that's not the thing to do.
10 or 12, I came really obsessed about germs. probably a good thing.
It could be correlated.
So what I did was I used to wash my hands every time before I ate, and I was obsessed about washing my hand, making sure all germs were off my hands. And even to the case where I wouldn't touch food with my hands. Like, I had to be either a knife or fork. So like with popcorn, if I was in the cinema with popcorn, what I used to do is pick it up with my tongue and I'd hold it popcorn.
What would you do when you got to like halfway down? You know when like
you'd have to tilt it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
The tilt and you lose half the popcorn as well.
Oh.
I remember like I think I was going to see one of the early Harry Potters. Would have been the first or the second movie, and I would have been in primary school, and I would. And one of the kids from my class was like, "Oh, I seen you at the cinema the other day. Yeah, you were eating popcorn with your like mouth," and I was like, "Yeah,
It's just
yeah." I do that sometimes.
yeah, like, I used to have a thing with before I'd use a knife and fork or a glass or a plate or whatever. Like I'd have to like inspect it to make sure it was fucking spotless.
All right.
I still would be a little bit like I won't use a fucking knife and fork that looks dirty.
No, I wouldn't use a dirty knife or fork, but I might wipe it with
Like even if it's
cloth.
in my, it's just like nah, fuck it, that's gone back in the dishwasher.
No, I do like because like there'll be like load of knives lying around the house, so I might just like that had butter, let's wipe it off. No, I use it there. I wouldn't do it.
Not a hope.
Garlic's the worst because I use a lot of garlic, so there might be knife in the counter, and then someone might want to chop a carrot, and they're like,
Garlicky carrot.
Yeah, so I went from one extreme to the other when I was a kid about being anxiety. I don't really. I think they blame the social media on it. I don't really think it's that too much. I really do think it's something to do with participation medals.
Participation medals though came around. They were only a recent enough thing.
Yeah, and then now fucking anxiety is going through the roof.
But like I've seen Joe Rogan talk to somebody before, and like all these words that they use, you know, like triggered and like safe spaces and stuff. Like,
see, that's what I mean.
They're all like, that's all stuff. He's talking to a psychologist. Like, that's all stuff that they use in the early stages of diagnosing autism.
Yeah.
Like, so is everybody just autistic now?
Possibly.
Like,
if you feel like you need a safe space, you're probably a little bit autistic. Like you're a very soft human being if you need a safe space. They don't have safe spaces in Russia.
I upset somebody recently by I said something. It's probably not repeatable. I said something.
Yeah, it is definitely repeatable.
And they said that they were offended by it, and my response to their offense was, "What happens now? Like nothing. Like you're offended. Who gives a fuck?"
You don't say like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want to offend you."
No, like you're offended. Who cares?
Yeah,
I fucking don't.
Just go back to people are humans. It's a reason why people pick animals over humans. It's like, yeah, no, like I don't want to offend anybody, but it comes into
I don't want to offend anybody,
yeah.
But like I'm not going to not say something that I'm thinking or that I feel or that I want to say just because it might offend you.
Well, it goes through school with participation, then it goes into college where they want fucking safe spaces, which is retarded. It's like you're meant to be an adult. I was told in school when I was in college, we were told I was studying animation, and they're like, "Oh, you're going to have to grow a very thick skin." And like even when I was growing up, we were always told sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt you. Yeah. Apparently now words are the most damaging thing you can ever do to a human being. Yeah. And they're so devastating to like your self ego that like you'll never overcome it.
Yeah, it's mental. Like.
So I think Shite Talks advice for kids and teens out there who are suffering from anxiety we're kind of telling you to cop on.
Yeah, stop acting the bollocks.
Yeah, deal with it. It'll be okay. You'll get over this, and
you get over it.
Worse things will happen. You'll see loved ones die. Should I tell you my fact about fish, or will we talk about Disney Plus?
I'll go with the fish.
So we were talking last week about that I used to do facts of the week, and our show was actually really, really packed out this week. So I had 3 facts, but there's only one of them I kept because it's actually the only really interesting fact, and it involves this fish that lives in another fish's butthole. So there's this thing called sea cucumber, and it has an invasive fish that lives in its butthole. Now it tried to defend itself. Evolution actually was thought this was such a problem that it developed teeth in its butthole in order to stop this fish from getting up the sea cucumber's butthole, and it didn't work. That the fish still managed to get up its arse.
Like, do they actually already have teeth? Does it have teeth in its mouth, or is it like
it has in its butthole?
None. We've established it's got teeth up its arse.
It might have teeth in both ends, because I imagine that it looks like a cucumber, so it's kind of a cylinder shape, and that might have just like teeth in both sides. Yeah, teeth in both sides.
That's a bit fucked up. Like,
it's really interesting.
That's like that South Park episode, where they're like, if you stick food up your ass, shit comes out your mouth.
I didn't see that actually. I've watched South Park in years ago and watch it now. That's on Netflix.
Yeah,
there was because South Park is a show that you kind of think like, this world is really way too PC for South Park anymore.
South Park.
Yeah,
South Park is great.
Apparently they slagged off. They were slagging off transgender athletes. So they're talking about the powerlifting thing.
Yeah, it was Macho Man Randy Savage.
I didn't see this episode, but I want to actually watch it after.
It was really good.
Yeah. So what's the kind of synopsis of this joke that caused offense?
So like, there's you haven't seen it in a while. So there's like this new principal in the school called PC Principal.
Yeah.
He's extremely PC. And his vice principal is Vice Principal Strong Woman. And together they have 5, I think, babies. And they're called the PC babies.
Alright.
And they cry at anything. Like, if you say anything that's not PC, they like cry and whinge until it's fixed. But Vice Principal Strong Woman, she does Strong Woman competitions.
Yeah.
And the first ever transgender entrant is coming into it. And I can't remember what her name is, Heather something, and they're talking about her, and the reporter like saying to her, how do you feel about it? And she's like, I'm open to it, yay! And he comes in, and it's Macho Man Randy Savage, like, and he's just like, yeah, and all that kind of crap, and he just wins everything. And then at the end of it, they're basically like, yeah, transgender's okay once it's not in sports.
All right. Do you ever see
because there's that
Gabby Garcia?
Yeah, Gabby Garcia
fought like some woman.
She fought a 60-year-old grandmother.
Like, I think the 60-year-old grandmother must have been like professional wrestler, because she was going in. She
was. Yeah, you wanted a professional wrestler. She was all posturing and stuff.
Yeah, and she's going like, oh yeah, and then she realized this is not fake.
Yeah, but the thing with Gabby Garcia is then you put her, like, she fought Mackenzie Dern and got destroyed. Well, not destroyed, but like she got beaten.
Yeah, Mackenzie Dern submitted her. I think it was a triangle. I'm not too sure, but she, Mackenzie like submitted like Gabby Garcia. So that's insane.
Yeah, that's a bit crazy. Like,
I always thought for that fight, like Gabby, she's a really good grappler, so she could have easily taken that old woman down and submit her. She bet the shit out of her.
Like, for people that don't know, like, Gabby Garcia is like
6'2". Yeah. She's about 100 kilos.
She's like Hulk Hogan.
She's an iron jaw. Yeah, like
she's Hulk Hogan without the moustache.
Like, performance enhancers is rampant in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. I'm not going to accuse her of that.
Yeah,
but like, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, if you found out.
And she's pulverized like these women.
Yeah, she fights like grannies in Japan.
Yeah, well, she fought granny. She takes all these super fights, but there's no. In fairness, like, there's fuck all girls that are her size.
Like, her opponents are usually like fucking.
Like, the ADCC goes
bad. Like,
yeah, the ADCC goes from under 60. Then there's like 35, and then there's like absolute.
Yeah,
there's like over a certain weight, whatever the heavyweight is. So there's a huge discrepancy from what Gabby Garcia is.
What's her weight?
I don't know.
We'll have to find out what her weight is. I don't know how we got from Sea Cucumber having eaten its ass to Gabby Garcia.
Yeah, I actually don't know. That was the last story that we were on. I don't know. I have no idea how we got from because we were talking about South Park.
She's 107 kilos.
107 kilos. Yeah, so it wasn't too far off. Like, and there's no professional jiu-jitsu competitor, female competitor that's near that size. Like,
no,
that you could name that could give her any run for her money.
Not even a little bit. Like they're all fairly small female jiu-jitsu competitors. Like
yeah, they really are.
Yeah, like I don't know. Fucking Mackenzie Dern is like what 52 kilos.
Yeah.
So like she fought a girl twice her weight and better. Jiu-jitsu
for everyone. Yeah, cool. We're gonna have to cut this short because we're coming up on time pretty soon. So I think the last story that because we're gonna go through like a whole lot more. I think we'll
save some for next week.
We'll save some for next week. What about penis balls?
Oh yeah, penis balls.
So this is a story that I came across. And
it finally happened. We were only talking about it last week. It happened.
It happened.
The same story.
Well, sort of. See, I came across it and I said, "Oh, that'd be interesting one for." I didn't click into it and kind of just forgot about it when I see my notes. You remember? You actually said, "Yeah, this is a good story. I'll come across this."
Yeah,
and we'll talk about it. So we talked.
So there's like this 14-year-old kid. I couldn't find out what country it was in, or else I can't remember. I don't know. It's not in my notes. He stuck 53 magnetic balls up his penis out of curiosity. And he started off, he just stuck one up, and then when he couldn't get the first one out, he stuck another one up, hoping that the magnetic force would pull it back out. But he got all the way to 53 without being able to get them out, and then it took him an hour to get 53 of these magnetic balls up his penis, like.
Fuck.
And then he just stopped, and the next day, obviously he was pissing blood and stuff. He got really worried about it, and he told his granddad. His granddad brought him to the doctor. Like,
I can't believe he left it a full day. He's like, I'll see how things work out. Not like, I need to go to the emergency room.
Yeah, and it's not even the first time it's happened, because a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old, you could probably think, right, maybe they're stupid.
Yeah.
Right, but then the third case is a 58-year-old.
Yeah, like the thing is, like, if they were a little bit older, you're like, what are you trying to, like? Is this meant to be a party trick? Because then you have to. Are you going to try to shove these balls up for a party? Like, what are you trying to accomplish here?
Like the 14-year-old now has got the world record, like 53. The 12-year-old, I think, has only gotten. He only stuck like. Did he hear about
that there was a world record? And he goes, "I'm going to try to break this world record."
Maybe.
Man, like in fairness, that is a lot of balls to stick up. Like, how big? Well, I guess they're a tiny little, but still 58 of them.
Yeah, 53.
Oh my god, you don't stick things up there. First of all,
I'm assuming they're like maybe the size of like fishing.
Oh yeah, there'd be like a ball joint, not even a ball, not even as big.
Like tiny things, like, but like fucking hell. There's an X-ray of it.
Yeah,
and it looks weird, like.
I don't know, man. What, like, yeah, like you said, like the 58-year-old is even like
the 58-year-old, like, what the fuck is he thinking?
I have no idea. It's,
but they all did it for curiosity.
Yeah, I guess that's how we put man on immune. But like curiosity. Yeah, but that's how we got ball joints up our fucking. Who has 58 ball joints? Like, that takes planning as well. That means like you get all these tiny little balls. Then you clear out enough in your schedule in order to shove them into your penis. And then he left them for a fucking day, and he didn't even tell his parents. He told his fucking granddad.
His granddad
was like, "Oh, fucking retard."
Maybe the granddad was the 58-year-old.
Maybe he was. Maybe like, "Granddad, I tried to break your record. How many you get? 53. Fuck, I'm gonna have to do it again."
Yeah, let's go to the hospital and get these out.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to leave it there because I have shit to do.
Yeah.
So,
sure, we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, and we'll continue on our...
Email more crap if you've got it.
Yeah, Shite Talk at Gmail... The Shite Talk Podcast Show at gmail.com for all your information. For all
your Shite Talk needs.
Yeah. Talk to you next
week. Shut up and sit down.